at some point, and everything indicates that she has been very successful without Mariama. She has been able to raise her children by herself, and she has become more courageous in how she lives her new life. So she's able to assert her independence and to show that she's capable of living on her own without a man. Now in chapter 13. In this chapter, Ramatula's marital crisis are described. They occur 3 years after that of Aisatu. So the two friends seem to share the same fate in marriage. Two friends seem to share the same fate in marriage. Our marriage crisis began 3 years after the crisis of Aisatu's marriage. Ramatullah narrates how Binatu, Daba's classmate, became Mudufol's second wife. She narrates how Binatu, Daba's classmate, became Mudufol's Daba is Ramatullah's first daughter, and her friend was Binatu. And because of the friendship, she used to come to the house. And then the father set eye on her, and that was, the rest is history. Okay? So that's why I said in that the expression. Ramatullah narrates how Binatu, Daba's classmate, became Mudufol's second wife. How she came to the house as her daughter's classmate and later became a wife to Mudufol. She arrived at the house poor, but became rich. It is revealed that it is Binatu's mother who forces Binatu to marry Mudufol because of the promise of wealth and a villa and a visit to Mecca. Okay? The man is determined to change their life. He said, I'm going to change your life. Name what you want. Okay? You want to go to Mecca? It is done. You need a house? It is done. Right? You need wealth? There's no problem. So she's ready to lift them out of poverty at his own personal discomfort, or to the detriment of his own comfort. So when the mother realizes that, she pushes the daughter towards the man, not minding whether the daughter will want to marry Mudufol or not. Okay? And so you have to note that theme, which perhaps is still enduring to today, where parents force their children that the children themselves will not want to be in. Because it is a source of conflict in many literatures. The source of conflict in the extant literature. The conflict of, Mom, I want to marry this one. The mom says, no, you can never marry that man. You have to marry this one. Because the parents know that there's something selfish that they want to gain from the marriage. So, Binatu knows that no amount of wealth is worth the capital of youth, but the mother does not care. But all along, Binatu did not tell Daba that the man she is to marry is Daba's father, Mudufol. She calls him Sugar Daddy. All right? And he's the sugar daddy that she does not really like because of the negative epithets that she gives to him. Like he has a pot belly, he's too old, and so on and so forth. Of this to Daba knowing that has been described like that, as having pot belly and being too old. Okay? So she will just say, my sugar has done this for me today, my sugar has done this for me today. And then my sugar is asking me to marry him, and so on and so forth. But Daba does not know that she's a fairy. So at the appointed time, when the wedding has taken place, Modufo sent Tamse, that's Modufo's brother, Moduba, the friend, the doctor, married to Aisha, and the imam to go and prop up Ramatulaye on the information that a new marriage has taken place, a new wife is coming to the house. She didn't know a thing, right? So you will notice the humor when you read the novel, right? You read the novel whether this year or next year, you will notice the humor, right? In the scene where they're trying to convince Ramatulaye to accept. Okay? So whenever you read the novel, please note that place. Okay? Good. So I'm now on chapter 14. And in chapter 14, marriage is seen as a means for upward mobility for the individual. Especially in the case of Binatu, marriage as that which is capable of changing an individual's class is depicted in the novel. Marriage as that which can alter the individual's class in the novel. After the marriage and after everything has been revealed, Daba is very furious at the father for marrying her classmate, her friend. It is now that Daba remembers that Benetu used to call the pot belly, sugar daddy, old man, and so on, in her presence, without knowing that it is the father. Okay? But Binatu had said these things to Daba because she felt that marriage was impossible between her and Modufo. But she did not reckon with the determination of Modufo and the greed of her mother. Because it took the determination of Modufo and Binatu's mother's greed to make that marriage happen. Right? Yeah, that's what it takes. Modufo is determined to send them to Mecca for pilgrimage so that they can become Alaji and Alaja as the husband and wife. He is also determined to build them a house, pay them money monthly, and give them whatever gift they want. And the mother is greedy enough to accept that, and so the marriage is cemented. All right? No question. No question at all. Daba encourages Ramatulaye, her mother, to divorce Modufo because, according to her, he respected neither you nor me. Do what Auntie Aishatu did. I can't see you fighting over a man with a girl my age. That's what Daba advises. Of course, she's younger generation. And the younger generation, they don't take nonsense, right? They are wrestling with different philosophies. Okay? But Ramatulai was educated with traditional education and very conservative views about tradition and culture. So Dabo says, divorce him because he respected neither you nor me. Do what Auntie Aisha too did. I can't see you fighting over a man with a girl marriage. But Ramatulai feels that she's too old for divorce at the moment. Ramatulai is too old for divorce now. Okay, so age has a factor in certain decisions in marriage, right? Age becomes a factor in certain decisions and individual could take in marriage. Then we are introduced to Jacqueline, whose story Ramatullah learns from. Jacqueline, whose story Ramatullah learns from. She is the Ivorian lady who suffers from nervous breakdown after disobeying her Protestant parents to marry one Samba Diak, a doctor, just like Maduba. Jacqueline is the Ivorian lady from Ivory Coast, who suffered from nervous breakdown after disobeying a Protestant parent to marry one Samba Diak. A doctor, just like Maduba. The marriage does not go well, and she suffers a nervous breakdown. Taken to the hospital, but the doctors don't seem to know what is wrong with her. Okay? Because her illness is internal, psychological. Samba Diak is from Senegal, and so she's married to a different culture. Jacqueline wanted to be Senegalese, but she was mocked and called Na. She is cheated on by Samba Diak, leading to a nervous breakdown. So the marriage does not work well, and the woman suffers harm. The husband cheats, and it hurts. The husband cheats and it hurts. The husband cheats and cheating hurts. So she suffers from a nervous breakdown, taken to the hospital, and she defies all medical prognosis. Until the doctor is able to tell her that nothing is wrong with her. That her pain is not physical pain. Nothing is wrong with her. That the pain she's feeling is not physical pain. She's diagnosed with depression. She's diagnosed with depression. Okay? Instead of dying of depression, she should go into the sunshine, go to the beach, and find a reason to be alive. Because our problem is depression, nothing more, nothing else. He says, you wish the condition of life were different from what they are in reality. And this is what is torturing you. That's what the doctor tells her. You wish the conditions of life were different from what they are in reality. And this is what is torturing you. Some pains are not physical, are not caused by physical wounds. Some pains are caused by subconscious psychological wounds. And they don't feel the same. That's what the doctor is saying. So based on the doctor's diagnosis, Jacqueline decides to fight for her life. So instead of leaving, Ramatullah chooses to stay on in the marriage. Chooses to stay on in the marriage. That means Ramatullah subscribes to polygamy. Not necessarily by choice, but by circumstances. But Aisha too does not subscribe to polygamy, and that's why she left. As long as the man's attention is no longer there, she leaves. And what Daba tells her when she makes that decision to stay on the marriage turns out to be to constitute foreshadowing in a novel. You know what she tells her? You have not finished suffering. You have not finished suffering. I mean, your suffering is just beginning. You're not tired of it yet. Okay? You're not finished suffering. Now in chapter 15. In chapter 15, the author compares young Nabu and Binatu, two young wives, to two different men. Young Nabu was raised as anti-Nabu's weapon, so people can be weaponized against others. Well-trained weapon to supplant Aishatu in the marriage. Okay? And of course, Auntie Nabu raised herself every single day in teaching her, indoctrinating her, telling her softly what to do indirectly and directly. So no wonder she succeeds at the end of the day. So young Nabu was raised as a weapon by Auntie Nabu against Aishatu. Okay? She was given oral traditional education by Auntie Nabu combined with modern education. You cannot beat that. And she works at a maternity home, having got midwifery education. It's called Repose Mandel's Maternity Home. That's where she works. Repose Mandel's Maternity Home. All right, that's where she works. In post-colonial Senegal. And the life of the typical housewife at the time is described. She would come back from work railing at the lack of birds that led to the discharge too early in her opinion of the mothers, worried about the lack of staff, inadequate instrument medicine. So she's not only a worker, she's a housewife, and she's also concerned about her job. Being a victim, she also wanted to be the oppressor. You know how Modu tries to, not how Modu falls. Sorry, not how Modu Ba tries to stay young for the young wife. The same thing with Model 4. They try to stay young for the young wife. And Model would dye his hair every month, his waistline painfully restrained by old-fashioned trousers. Model will have himself winded trying to imprison youth in its decline, which abandoned him on all sides. So the stress of staying young by the man for the young wife is noted in the novel, and it is quite humorous and satiric. Winnetou is not happy with a married life because she married an old man. Daba goes to the nightclub with a fiancé at times to emulate her father with Winnetou. What exactly are they looking for in the nightclub? So stay tuned. Okay, chapter 16. Ramatulare is now running the house on her own since Medufo now pays all his attention to the new family. Ramatulare has a son that's named after the father's friend, Madu Ba. So the name is Madu Fo. Now the son is Madu Fo. Ramatulare confesses. She says, I no longer interest Mudu, and I knew it. I was abandoned, a fluttering leaf that no hand dares to pick up. That's how she describes herself at this point in the marriage. She's lonely at night. We're talking about the void. She's lonely at night. And her children now use public transport to go to school. It is because of this that Aishatu bought a car for Ramatulare. Again, that is a point in sisterhood and bonding. Sisterhood and bonding is demonstrated in how Aishatu bought a car for Ramatulare. Okay? So at any given point that you read the novel, you see that. All right? Sisterhood is seen when Ramatulare says, you, my sister. That's how she describes her. You, my sister. So sisterhood and bonding. The car is Fiat 125. So now Ramatulare learns how to drive because she has a car now. Friendship has splendors that love knows not. That's what Ramatulare says. Recalling our friendship with Aishatu. Friendship has splendor that love knows not. Page, chapter 17 now. We're making progress. Ramatulare says, I have never conceived of happiness outside of marriage. Meaning she believes in marriage. But what happens when marriage fails? Ramatulare makes peace with Modufo's family. Ramatulare's children are doing well in school. Ramatulare celebrates the 40th day of Modufo's death as custom demands. And that is the end of the morning, right? So there's a meeting during which Tamse, Modufo's brother, reveals his intention to marry Ramatulare after she has come out of mourning, Custom demands it, tradition demands it, right? That the late man's brother, should continue to marry the wife to continue the family lineage, right? All right. Okay? I think there's something like that in the Bible. Okay, in the Old Testament, of course. Right? So, he says he prefers Ramatullah to Binatu because probably Binatu is mad and radical. Ramatullah is a good woman, right? So Ramatullah's reaction is violent, sarcastic, and contemptuous because she refuses to marry Tamsir. Okay? She pays them back in the same coin that they paid her when they came to announce Mudufor's marriage to Binatu. So in our words that shows resistance to self-objectification, she says, you forget that I have a heart, a mind. I am not an object to be passed hand to hand. Ramatullah to Tamsir, and she rejects him. You forget that I have a heart, a mind, that I'm not an object to be passed from hand to hand. That's what Ramatullah says. So Daba and her husband have bought all of Modufor's properties, leaving the younger wife, Binatu, and the mother-in-law in limbo, sending them back to where they came from, to their poverty and their slums. Okay? But then it shows that right from the moment that Modufor married Binatu, Daba and the family, the mother were planning their revenge on the friend. Okay? But that is not explicitly stated in the novel. Okay? And they are stupid. While the manna was calling for him, they refused to prepare for for rainy days. All right? They just thought the manna would keep falling forever and forever. All right? How stupid. They didn't plan anything. All their plan was on Modufor. Okay? So Daba and her husband have bought all of Modufor's properties. So she's able to revenge how the trial, Tamsir, Imam, and Maudu, how they teamed up to inform her of Modufor's marriage. So having got Tamsir out of the way, rejecting him, then comes along Dada Dieng. Okay? Dada Dieng is also interested in marrying Ramatullah, despite the fact that he has wives now. Okay? He still wants to add her as one of his wives. All right? Not concubine, wives. It's allowed in traditional culture. Okay? One never forgets a first love. That's the lines that he uses, right? and you know that he's very creative with those lines, right? One never forgets a first love. All right. But he has a wife by name Aminata. Has a wife by name Aminata. So, and you know, Dada is confident, very certain that he's not going to be rejected, right? Because of his position in the side, right? Okay? Good. Because Dada is in the National Assembly, okay? So how many women will reject that? He's in the National Assembly. It's an important political figure, right? Good. But Ramatullah called the assembly the male assembly because it has very few women representatives. Okay? Meaning that it's a man's gathering in politics at the time. There are only 4 women in the National Assembly at the time. That then says that if there is a large number of women in the assembly, everything will explode. Right? that things will not be right. So it's a patriarchal perception that women usually come in to destroy things, right? Okay, so just poise enough for peace to reign in the assembly. All right? Okay. Ramatulaya speaks on women's rights. They just have a discussion, okay, in the novel, saying that women are not incendiary, but stimulant. Women are not troublemakers, okay? So there should be more women representatives in the assembly. So Dada Diang leaves at night but returns the next day, but could not stay long or say much because of the visitors. Then again he returns. We are introduced to Osmane, another of Ramatulaya's sons. So you know that Ramatulaya has Osmane, son of Ramatulaya. We are also introduced to the concept of the bush radio, which is the means of unorthodox intelligence, which Dada then learns, uses to learn that Ramatulaya refused to marry Tamse. He knew about it through the bush radio, meaning unorthodox intelligence in the village, right? Or in the town. Bush radio. Not the official radio, but the one in the bush, right? So he feels that if she has rejected Tamse, she will accept him. Okay? So when Ramatulaya confirmed this information, Dada then quickly asked for Ramatulaya's hand in marriage. The information he confirms that she has rejected Tamse, the brother to Modi 4. He asks Ramatulaya to take time to give her a response, merely but to wait till the next day. Can respond the next day. And this makes Ramatulaya to make this statement. Tomorrow, what a short time for reflection, for the decisive commitment of a life. Right? That's tomorrow. It's too short to think and take such an important decision. Ramatulaya says that her heart does not love Dada Dieng. She never loved him, and probably will never love him. Okay, she's advised by Famata, the great woman, to consider Dada Dieng's proposal. Ramatulaya gives a letter to Famata to give to Dada Dieng. There's dramatic irony because Famata carries this letter and is happily to Dada Dieng, thinking that Ramatulaya has accepted to marry him based on her advice. Okay? So she feels that she's bearing happy news, happy piece of news. So that's dramatic irony. But we know that letter is a weapon. All right? It's a bullet to Dada Dieng. All right? The message it contains is very cruel. Right? Because in the letter, Ramatulaya offers friendship to Dada Dieng instead of marriage. So we can be friends. I don't think anything hurts more, right? Than the offer of friendship instead of marriage to the man. Says we can be friends, but no marriage. So there's a motif of letter in the novel, right? You can write it down. There's a motif of letter writing in the novel. Letter writing is a motif in the novel. Take note of that. Letter writing is a motif in the novel. Because the letter itself, the novel itself is in the form of a letter, and there is a letter in the letter. So take note of that. But it speaks to a time when people communicated through letter writing. Okay? Because they usually pick their pen from the basket of happiness. Alright? Dada then rejects Ramatulla's offer of friendship with the words, all or nothing, which is what, which is a man's world, depicts a man's world, man's ambition, all or nothing. That's what he wants. That's the ambition of men in patriarchal circumstances, all or nothing. Right? So that then rejects Ramatulla's offer of friendship with the words all or nothing. Right? So men that did not disappoint the brotherhood. Right? Good. Famata represents women who support patriarchy in the way she charged Ramatulla for not accepting Dada Dieng's proposal. There are women who subscribe to patriarchy at any given time, even in our contemporary time. Okay? Because patriarchy is a system, and both men and women play in the system, act in the system, whether you like it or not. Okay? It's the system. And so there are women who, by their words and action, they subscribe to patriarchal ideologies. Some consciously, right? Just like Famata is doing here. So when you read the novel, you note her words in chiding Ramatulla for not accepting the audience proposal. All right? For instance, in some of these burial rites that we find to be oppressive to the woman, they are usually enforced by other women, right? They just sit down here, your husband has died, just scrape your head. What kind of woman are you? Right? And they're the ones that will scrape the fellow woman's head. Make her go through the rite. The men have no hand in it. Okay? The men are somewhere. They don't have a hand in it. But fellow women, okay? Fellow Nigerian women, right? It's like fellow Nigerian women that will do that. Okay? So fellow Nigerian women. Right? Famata accuses Ramatulla of wanting to choose her husband like an 18-year-old girl. Right? Famata accuses Ramatulla of wanting to choose her husband like an 18-year-old girl. Like pick and select. As if she has choices in her age, right? You're telling her that in your age you don't really have choices. Right? So why don't you pick this best option that is available, right? But it appears that Ramatulla wants to marry a fresh husband, all right? Okay? Our first love. And only that man, and only that man alone. No polygamy. Yeah. Ramatulla refuses more men, making her to be called lioness or mad woman. Like she's crazy. How can she be refusing many men like this? Okay? So we are told that the Sikap villa is now possessed by Daba, that completed their revenge on Binatu. Stripped of everything, Lady Mother-in-law begs for mercy. Lady Mother-in-law begs for mercy because she has nothing. Daba refuses to show mercy, right? So we are told that Asmene is Ashatu's last born. He is 6 years old. He gives a letter from Ashatu to Ramatulai. We are told that the end of Ramatulai's seclusion by morning is the very next day. Ramatulai has issues with her children. For instance, Maudo 4 has some problem in school with his philosophy teacher. Maudo 4, M-A-W-D-O. Has issues in school with his philosophy teacher. Marks him too strictly because he is black. So that's an issue of racism there, a minor thing. I don't know. So this makes one Jean-Claude, a white boy, to come first this time around. Because of the teacher's strict marking, Jean-Claude comes first instead of Maudo 4. He's a white boy. Racism in the education system. It's depicted that. So the boy challenges the teacher. We are told that Daba seems to be happy with her marriage at the moment. The name of the husband is Abu. The name of the husband is Abu. Daba's husband. Abu. We are introduced to the concept of the modern marriage. We are introduced to the concept of the modern marriage. So if one of the partners is no longer satisfied with the union, why should he remain? So divorce is guaranteed in modern marriages. At any moment that you don't feel comfortable, you are free to go. Right? So Daba and Omar are Omar has two children. Other child is Omar. Other children are Amy and Awa. Amy and Awa, A-M-Y, A-W-A, Amy and Awa. They are twins. Amy and Awa are twins. When you read into this gender Ramatullah, you come across them, but they are depicted in different lights. Another child of Ramatullah is Aminata. Aminata. And that is where we bring our class to a close today. I'm very sure that next week we will complete this, so I'll move on to Dear Ramatullah. Meanwhile, the group should get the original, the primary text and start working. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.